So without any further ado, folks, I would like to introduce you to a very special TTG member. Everyone give a big Ayo to Green Thumb.
Ayo.
Yes, there she is. I gotta tell you, Green Thumb, you are famous in the
Oh my
world.
gosh. Thank you so much. Thank you, STR members.
Yes,
I'm
I
just
know
trying to help sometimes.
I love it. I love it. You've been such a massive value to True Trading Group and to the members. I can't tell you how many times that Adam and I we hear from either 2% or we hear from other members about, how interactive you are and how helpful you are and always answering questions and sharing your ideas. And today's a big day for you.
Yes.
Today's a big day for you. You very oftentimes help other people make money. And today you did that for yourself with a monster of a trade on Netflix. So why don't I'll pull up the chart of Netflix. Why don't you kind of talk me through your trade? What were the options? What price did you get in? Where did you get out? What's the percentage gain? And then walk me through the thought process and what was it about Netflix that caused you to get into this trade in the first place?
So pull up a daily chart.
I'll draw out the triangle. I know the triangle.
Yeah, so you've seen my picture. I was seeing that triangle, right? So just as a point of background, right? So I came to TTG as a swing trader thanks to my friend, the last unicorn who introduced me to TTG. So it took me like 6 months to join. I was very skeptical. I wasn't sure it was for me. I was very stubborn. So anyway, eventually I joined and then I became a lifetime member within the first week. So that's my story.
So within the first week, that's it. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere.
Right. Again, the reason I wanted you to start with the daily is because I got my trading ideas always from the daily chart. Again, from my swing background. And that triangle that you see on the left-hand side. So my chart's a little different than yours, but thank you for sharing my picture. And STR members are very familiar with this layout. I've done this many times. On the left-hand side is my daily chart. In the middle, it's the intraday. And on the right-hand side is the option contract chart. That triangle, you would also see the same triangle on the SPY yesterday before it breaks out. It's a symmetric triangle, which happens often on the daily chart. When you see this kind of pattern, it used to, it's expected to pop out one upside or downside, but with the momentum on that last leg going higher and higher in the volume, I don't know if you can see it very clear, but the volume is building up. My sense was that it was going to pop out on the upside. And I'm sure that was also supported by the Qs. The Qs is already pretty strong, and some of the tech names are pretty strong. So once it pops out, I traded that leg up, and STR, we were talking about it since this sort of sideways formation happened, and I kept telling people, watch for the 330, 332. It's going to go there. So every time it posts back to the support level around, let me look at my chart, around 316, and I would say something in STR and say, watch it, because it kept on wicking off that level. It's going to go higher. But it didn't pop out of the triangle. And when it does that last bit of push last week, I said, watch that. It's going to go break above the diagonal. Once it broke above the diagonal, 70% of the stocks like to retest. So I've been waiting for that pullback. I've been waiting patiently. It took 3 days, and that little doji formed. Basically, this is a continuation move. For those that look at the chart pattern that we talked about often in STR, this is a continuation move. It literally bounced right off that diagonal, retested, and went. And so yesterday, you would see the little wick right off the 329 area. And I got in right there. And you see that on my chart, you have the moving average. That is a 50 moving average, isn't it?
Yeah. So on my chart, and I'll show everybody just as Green Thumb was talking, you guys can see the triangle that's drawn out there on my chart. There's the triangle pattern, which is a neutral pattern, which is why she was saying she was looking, hey, this can go upside, downside. But when you get the break out of it, here was the breakout of it that she was referring to. And then over the last couple of days, there's the retest back into that triangle. So like you just heard her say, a lot of times when you get these break out of these triangle patterns, it likes to come back and retest that trend line before continuing trend. And it's not just about testing that triangle. You have these other indicators here, like right there, green thumb, this pink line, that's the 100-day moving average, the pink line, which is the perfect bottoming tail to yesterday. But directly underneath that, just a couple dollars lower, is the 50-day moving average. So you've got major moving average support down there. You also have price structure. So I'm going to draw another line across my screen right now. And just to make it easier for people on their eyes, I'm going to get rid of the triangle pattern for just a second. I'm going to show you the price structure. Now you can see back there in April, this level around 330 used to be support. It gapped underneath it in the middle of April, and then you'll see that level started to act as resistance. Then you broke above it again there in the middle of May, and then in the middle of May, it begins to now hold support again, and that is exactly where the market pulled back into yesterday. So now you see that price structure there. So now we'll delete the price structure, and I'll draw back that triangular pattern, and now you start to see multiple indicators lining up and multiple chart patterns all lining up to give you the support that sits right there around 330 from yesterday, which is the day that Green Thumb entered the trade. So I want to show everybody that on the chart real quick. So now take it away. Talk to us again about yesterday, the entry. What options did you buy? And then pick things right back up with the trade. Go ahead.
That was perfect. That was so well illustrated. Yeah, that's exactly right above that tail, right around 338. The price so I was doing some day trades, and then when I get to that point, I said, you know what, I'm going to swing this one. So I exited some of my day trades and kept some of my contracts for swing. I entered the May 19th, so yesterday was Wednesday. So I dear devil, I did this week's expiration day on Friday, 342.5 call, and I bought it at $1.75. I had no idea that today we'll have this huge gap up, and ran away. In fact, if you can bring back my chart. So for those in STR, we used the fib, or I used the fib to project my targets. And I noted those, without the fib to make the chart really messy. I highlighted those. You can kind of see that right at the 100, it's right before, it's right the prior high, the previous resistance. Right there, I took one profit group that happened to be at 9:36 today for $11. And what I really was aiming for was the second target at the 360 area that happened to be around the 161 fib, and that's the 1850 exit. And that was the killer trade, because I got in at $1.75 and got out at 1850. And I think if my math is correct, it's like over 1,000% gain.
That is what is that? 1850 minus that is a 957% gain.
Something like
that is a 957% gain, Green Thumb. That is absolutely insane. That is so insane.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you can kind of see on the left-hand side, I was still aiming for the 200, which also has another level. It did go there, but I said, that's okay. That's not my money. I didn't trade that part. I mean, I did actually enter another day trade, but it's nothing like this one. So a lot of times in STR, I try to encourage those that cannot do day trade with a full-time job. I always say, please do not give up hope, because there are swing setups that would give you multiple days of move. And, you can still do this over time, and you don't have to try to chase those crazy day trades. This is a good example of that. We've been stocking this for days, and it gave us a setup. Once it's set up, then you can let it go. I did not expect to hit my target in one day. I did not. Yeah. Right. I was confident it was going to go there, just in probably a few more days. So this all worked out.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's such a well planned out trade.